There we go. So, Chris, as I said to you just before I hit record, I want people to um give you a little bit of credit here, and I feel it's important that you give yourself a little bit of credit at this point. One of the reasons why I asked you to do this, because from what I've seen, you've done incredibly well behind the scenes. You're doing a great job alongside Sam, and I think it's important because your story is so relatable, and I just love working with guys like you because you're so process driven, you're so outcome focused, you problem solve, and you just get really good results in a relatively short space of time. So I'm going to dig into the framework, and one thing I just wanted to offer for obviously for you and the guys who can't be here tonight is just a little bit of context, because some of you may have noticed that I have recently changed kind of the way I kind of frame what it is we do. And Chris, I hope you don't mind me saying this, you're a fantastic example of it. We help men get lean, strong, confident without compromising their work, family, or lifestyle. So that's what I feel your journey represents in a nutshell, which is one of the reasons why I asked you to do this. The mission is still the same. The outcome is to look, feel, and perform your very, very best. So everything that we've done so far is based around achieving this. Now, I think just for you and for the guys who can't be here tonight, I did want to offer a little bit of context as to what we've done. And some of you will have seen the message that Chris was kind enough to share in the group. Obviously, Chris, we've achieved 10 kilograms worth of weight loss. He's very kind to just highlight like how pivotal not just the program as a whole, but Sam has been throughout this and just sticking to the process. So, Sam, you equally deserve a lot of recognition here. You've been very, very successful and pivotal with Chris's success. And I think it just shows really nicely that given the start position and you weren't really sure kind of what you wanted initially, there was 10 kilograms of body fat to lose, and it needed to happen to get to this point. So the results physically look great on paper. I just wanted to share this because a lot of people will watch this back and they'll think, 10 kilograms in 12 weeks, Chris has absolutely nailed it. It's never linear, it's never perfect, and you can see all the bumps in the road along the way, which this demonstrates really, really nicely. So the last thing before we get into unpacking your journey, Chris, that I wanted to share a quote that, for me, what demonstrates your results so far. And I think patience and trust in the process will lead to extraordinary results. And I don't know if anybody on this call or anybody watching this back knows who Grant Cardone is, but with anything success-wise, if you just invest in the process and you trust it and you just follow the path, that's what leads to extraordinary. So without further ado, Chris, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to give you a chance to just, first of all, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us why, how you ended up here, and I think the context around kind of what your life looks like what do you do for work, what your life looks like behind the scenes is really helpful as well.
Yeah, so my life outside of like fitness and training, so I work as an accountant working in private equity and real estate. I live in London, so I guess most of your clients are probably from around Leeds, aren't they, James? But I'm based in
not all of
London.
them. So we've got some guys out in the States, some guys in London.
Wow, yeah.
Dotted all over now.
Good, yeah. So yeah, got that, which works can be quite intense, quite stressful, quite high pressure. So there's obviously that to juggle around. In terms of like historically, so I've been keen sportsman, played football all my life, and I've gone through spells of doing training programs or doing it myself. One thing I've kind of noticed is I probably started going to the gym properly in, I don't know, 2012 roughly, let's say. Hit some initial peaks and then kind of plateaued and then just lost any sort of physique that I had, and I was kind of trying to do it myself. And I'll be honest, when I sort of stepped into this, I thought I knew what I was doing, and now that I'm what 12, 13 weeks in, I think I was very naive, and I knew a small percentage, and James and Sam know a whole lot more. That quote you shared, I mean, I'm kind of digressing from your question here, but that quote you shared, I think, is like really poignant to me. I haven't done anything extraordinary. I've done simple stuff that you've told me to do consistently, and that's got what I think's quite extraordinary results, better than I thought. So yeah,
I
I'll
love
leave
that.
it.
That's something you shared, obviously, with me privately as well. So thank you, Chris. That's really helpful. And hope you don't mind. I used a lovely picture of you and your now fiance in the background.
Yeah,
I think some people will watch this back and go, "Oh, well, it's a single guy." No, it's not. You've got a partner, challenge your job, all these
yeah.
different things, which we'll get into. So, first question for you tonight, Chris, and I don't mind if you do digress a little bit because this is your kind of moment to kind of share your journey. But I did want to have a little bit of structure. Just
Yeah.
tell us why you joined the program.
So I mean, there's probably a few reasons. One, I two of my close friends were in the program, Ben and Ali, and I saw the results that they got and was super impressed. As I said before, I've been trying to do it myself for years and never really got the results. Thought I knew what I was doing, but wasn't. When I spoke to them, they gave a glowing review of, what can be achieved, and seeing the results just made me think, right, I've got to do it. And I think I was kind of sick of trying to get results but not. There's nothing worse than putting in effort and like stagnating or making a bit of the results. Um, so yeah, speaking to them, I knew like I'd get the accountability from the person training me. And one thing that they both said, which I didn't think would be possible, but I would say before I was probably training at about 50%. I thought I was going to the gym with no structure, but I thought I'll do this, I'll do some squats, some bench press, or whatever it might be. And you'd kind of just do it, and you wouldn't have that dedication, commitment to like push yourself. I was still investing some of the time, just not in the right. I was working. Now I'm working smarter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
So I think that's why I joined. And I suppose also I wanted to look and feel good. So as that picture showed, I recently engaged. So I will soon be having a wedding. My partner's from the south of France, so our wedding's likely to be in the south of France, where there's going to be swimming pools and stuff. And I thought I want to be in the best shape of my life. I'm approaching 40. So I thought now's the time to do it. And yeah, I've not looked back since. Very happy.
Chris. So the next thing I wanted to ask you tonight is what have you accomplished? 'Cause I think the 10 kilograms is in some ways it's massively relevant, but it can be a bit of a vanity metric. And there's so many guys that have passed through my fingers over the years that have lost 10 kilograms or more. So what do you feel like you've accomplished so far inside the program?
I think there's a lot of things, but like obviously the weight loss, better physique, the knowledge of like training that come from obviously the app. I think the videos you have is great. Like things that I was training that I wasn't really doing right, so you wouldn't have been getting the right sort of strain on the muscle to build it. Um, but not just doing it right, but understanding why. That you talk through why you're doing that and what muscle it hits. So that I found that really good. So yeah, better training, weight loss, knowledge on like why we're doing stuff. So Sam's been great at like talking through reasons why the metabolism sort of slows down when you lose a bit of weight, and then the way you can counteract that. That's something that I don't think a lot of people probably know. and it's improved my mindset with things like making sure I stick to it and commitment. So it's easy to, when I've got Sam holding me accountable to go to the gym 4 times, there's a lot of times where I'd get home from work if I've been in the office, I get back at 7, half 7 or wherever it might be, and you just think, well, it's too late now, I won't go. But because of this, it's changed my mindset of, I can't remember if you said it to me, James, at the beginning, but I think you said you can either have excuses or results. And it's bang on. So now I don't have an excuse. There's no reason why I don't go to the gym at half 7. Um, some people do mornings. I just can't really do mornings, but I mean, I'm happy to go late at night. So it's massively changed that mindset, which is great. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. A lot of big educational and emotional wins in there, Chris. But would you mind summarising kind of what you've achieved physically? So you, exact way, like what things look like now in the mirror versus where you started as well.
Yeah. So I didn't know I had 10 kilos to lose. I didn't know it was that much, but I can see a lot more definition in all of my upper body muscles and my lower body. I'm 6'5", and I'd say 5.5 feet of that is my legs. So I've got really long legs. So it's quite hard to get any size on my legs, but I've noticed that through the training I have put on some decent size on the legs. Um, and just everything looks like it's come in towards my hips and kept the sort of muscle that I did have and built on it. Yeah, just more definition and more toned all over.
Awesome stuff. And best is yet to come, by the way. So I know there'll been a few kind of challenges that even I probably won't have even seen behind the scenes. But in terms of like setbacks and challenges, how did we deal with them, and what do you do with Sam as well to work through things?
I think obviously communicating them with Sam really helps, and then he can tell me sort of ways to counteract it. I've not been very good at joining these calls, but I've always watched them back, and I think the stuff that you said recently, the stuff you said around social life and the sort of summer. So I've had social life challenges throughout where I've always been a all or nothing sort of bloke, go out with the lads or with other couples, and it's like, yeah, let's get another bottle of wine, let's all have dessert or whatever. It's challenging to change that mindset, but I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've accomplished. The weight loss is great, but the mindset is even better. That I don't have to be like that. You don't have to go, I'm going to be all or nothing. You can have a bit of it, and you probably end up having the same amount, if not more fun. And then you don't have any guilt, or the next day, really like battling with yourself about like, oh, I've overindulged or whatever it might be. There has been times where I've, old habits, I'm nearly 40. I've been doing that sort of lifestyle for 20 years. You're not just going to overnight switch it, but when it happens, I think like getting yourself back on track as quick as possible um, is a big challenge, but something that everyone can do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's the discipline to at first have a plan, to stick to the plan, and then breaking that all or nothing mindset as being really key for you in terms of dealing with those kind of just short term challenges, like you said, the social things. And what you said,
Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight, like the reason why I've done this for a long time, Sam. I know you've done this for a long time as well. The reason why people go backwards and end up going back to the way before is because they're never challenged to embrace the new identity that they need to become to actually keep the result. And a lot of the trainings that are really resonated with you, like the ones you mentioned there, they do challenge your behaviour, they do challenge your identity, they do get you to be accountable, not to me and not to Sam, but to yourself, because that's the key. So I love that, Chris, and it's nice to kind of hear it from you as well. What's been your biggest lesson today so far?
Uh, I think the biggest lesson is you kind of get what you put in. Um, so as I said, I've been training for a long time, and I've been trying to watch my food intake and alcohol intake and all of those things. So if I'm brutally honest with myself, before I joined Limitless, I probably was putting 50% in. So I'd go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and train at 50%. And then my nutrition, my diet would be okay Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday would come and you'd think, okay, it's Friday, anything goes. Then when I sort of scaled that back, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday where anything goes. That's 50% almost of the week that I'm not putting any thought into it. So I think the biggest lesson is you get what you put in. So if I put 100% in, then my results should be 100%. If I put 50% in, it's only going to be 50%, if not worse. So there are weeks where, like, recently got a puppy, for example, and there are nights and weeks where he just keeps me too busy or keeps me up at night. He's getting better, but there are times that he gets in the way. Still, if you can put in 80, 90% that week, that's a lot better than 50. So I think you get what you put in. That's my biggest lesson.
Love that. I've not heard that one before, but yeah, it's so true. The more you put in, the more you get out. And yeah, that's great, Chris. So the next question is actually around your identity. I know we're quite kind of early doors for you with this, and we're only, as you say, 12 weeks in. But how has your identity changed, and what have other people noticed about you as well?
I mean, as I touched upon, I think I don't have that all or nothing mindset anymore with food or with alcohol. So you can have a bit and still enjoy yourself. I think that's noticeable. Like I went on a stag do recently, end of May, and normally you go on a stag do, and it is the whole sort of male drinking culture in the UK is built around kind of all or nothing.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of switch between having like number one, swapping my drink to a vodka lime soda because it's less calories. And then number two, every other drink have just a lime soda. Um, so if anyone asked, I would tell them that it's just a lime soda, but I didn't have to make it a big thing. So it wasn't like, oh, people weren't putting pressure on you. But I think my identity has changed in that I am confident enough to say this is what I'm doing and this is why, and that I want these results. Um, the people around me, my partner particularly, but like friends who are close to me, have definitely noticed the switch in my dedication. Some friends have sort of questioned it, but I'm learning more and more as it comes up to learn that this is me focusing on my journey,
Yeah.
and not everyone's going to almost approve or want me to do it. But that's fine. That's their choice. I can still be really good friends with people who have completely different mindsets and have lots of fun with them and stick to my journey.
So it's impacted you a lot, kind of socially, and I guess in your behaviours and traits as well. Has anybody at work noticed, Chris?
Uh, Not really, but I only go to the office 1 day a week, so I work from home mostly. So
So we can't see the abs through the suit just yet.
yeah, I think work-wise, the job I'm in, I'm very much like head down, get done,
Yeah.
working, working, working. So I doubt they would.
Yeah. Chris might be
I'm
Chris.
just another man doing work for them.
Got it. Got it. But yeah, lovely stuff. What what key things have helped you stay on track the most, Chris, personally?
For me personally, there's probably the ones that are the most. I think the check-ins with Sam. So I do a daily check-in in the app. Is brilliant. Sometimes I do it the morning after, but normally do it the night of. I think they're brilliant because you can see where you've gone right or where you've gone wrong, and then you can fix it the next day and think, right, I need to do that. Um, and in the weekly check-ins from Sam, I get where he sort of tells me what's gone well and what's gone. You can kind of see if you're on the right track. They've really helped me stay on track. Visual results, obviously, once you kind of get visual results or the scales, I'm more interested in the visual than the scales personally. But if once you start seeing them, it really drives me to stay on track. And as I said before, I'm not doing anything incredible. I'm doing simple stuff. It's hard, don't get me wrong, it is hard, but it's simple stuff consistently. Um, yes, I think those are the key things. And another thing is the mind of buying into it. As I sort of said before, you get what you put in, and if you're not fully putting your foot on the gas, I don't think you'll get the results. But if you are just thinking, right, this is me, this is what I'm going to do, I actually want this, um, learning that the long-term goals are sometimes different to the short term,
Yeah,
short-term happiness and long-term happiness. But yeah, I guess they're the four key things.
amazing. Love that. I can tell you've had a little bit of time to think about these responses as well. Lovely stuff. So I guess it's the processes, the accountability,
Yeah.
visual results, and then just as I said previously, being accountable to yourself, like being the guy who's if you said you're going to do it, just follow through on it.
Yeah.
Great stuff. What's what would be your best piece of advice, Chris, to someone who's maybe not where they want to be just yet?
I mean, if they weren't signed up for Limitless, I'd tell them to sign up for Limitless. But if they already are, then I would say just keep it simple. Listen to what James or Sam, or I don't know if there are other trainers, but listen to your trainer. And if you do what they say, you will get the results. Just be consistent with it. Um, and if you go through some bad patches, just remember that you can always turn it around. And that sort of journey where you showed the path of my weight going down, it hasn't been linear, like you said, and there has been times where I've sort of fallen off the wagons. Probably not the right term, 'cause it makes me sound like an alcoholic, but like had a blip or
Yeah,
had overeaten on the calories or enjoyed myself too much or done a bad training session, but that's not forever. So the next one's always a potential to reset. So keep going and listen to James and Sam.
yeah. Just there's not one that I've written down, but have you second guessed anything at any point? Have you questioned yourself?
Um, yeah. So in what way do you mean? Like questioned what we were
So,
doing?
have you had any like moments of like doubt, let's say, where you felt like, oh, just don't know if I can do this type thing? Have you had a bit of a wobble at any point?
I have, yeah, yeah. For me, one of the biggest challenges is the social side, and there is times where I'm out and I've had a drink or a bit of food, and I think, do I really want this? Do I really want to change? But I do. It's been a long-term thing of mine. In that moment, you have a fleeting moment of, well, I could do this now, and it's just chasing the short-term happiness. Um, yeah, so I think that would be a moment where I've doubted it, whether I can do it,
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
it's
And
in me.
I know a lot of people relate to that, Chris. 100%. You'll have little moments of doubt. Um, what's the next goal, Chris? Because obviously you're 10 kilos down. Like you look completely different to where you started. Your behaviour, your identity, your results are changing. What's the next thing for you?
So I want to navigate through the summer um, as best as I can. Obviously, it's a time when there's a lot of people off work, there's holidays, so I want to navigate my way through that best. And what that would probably mean is building on the mindset and building on that. This is the new me, and I'm really happy. But I have to make some changes to what I might have been in the past. Um, in terms of physically, I think Sam and I have said I want to lose another 2 kilograms. Um, and then that would hopefully get me down to as lean as a point where I'd be happy with how lean I was. Um, and then I want to start to learn how to build some extra muscle. And in the past, I've tried to do this myself and probably ended up just doing like a dirty bulk, if you will, and just saying, right, I need to eat loads to put on muscle and just eating loads, but not watching what you're eating. So I want to learn that. And then I want to learn more from you guys around how to kind of keep that and integrate it into my life. So it's not just like I do 6 months, look good, and then that's it. I want to have it that this is now what I can do, like make it so it's sustainable. And I think right now it is. I'm starting to get there. So
Yeah, love that. I do think, by the way, that bulletproofing any result is so important. Like you said, like the fat loss, it's you can almost gamify it a little bit in terms of it's just balance the books with calories, hit your protein target, do the activity, turn up, be very habitual, be accountable. Like for me, I think fat loss is a lot easier than building muscle because you haven't got to manipulate training volume, you haven't really got to apply execution, add more advanced training methods. Like you say, sometimes your relationship with food can fall off a little bit when you start thinking about building tissue because you fall into the trap of, well, I'm bulking now. It just justifies poor decision making when
yeah,
actually, when you're having more food, your body's typically a lot more inflamed. So arguably, the amount of processed foods should be even smaller to give your body the better chance of recovery and high performance and retaining your relationship with food
yeah,
and staying lean and receptive to food as well.
yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of things there, and I'm pleased that you just highlighted 2 kilograms is very specific. I like that it was that detailed. Awesome.